Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, live on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. We're live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Thank you to those listening to us or watching us live on YouTube, and thanks for those listening to us on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Today on the show, Matt Iwanyk, Brendan the intern, Shawn Belle with you here on the Hangout, which is presented by Sentinel Storage. The Hangout's not always late. The Hangout starts exactly on time.
I know.
I didn't have the full quote. I was going with the Lord of the Rings
said
quote
that
there.
we're always late? Not true.
9:05, we're supposed to start the show.
Yeah.
That's the start time of the Hangout.
Looks like 9:05 started.
Exactly. See? It was the Gandalf quote. Like, what is it? A wizard's never late, never early. The wizard shows up exactly on time. Something like that is the quote from Gandalf. And that's the Hangout. We're never early, we're never late. We start exactly on time.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings. Let's go.
Hey, do you want to do a Lord of the Rings impersonation? Ashley did one yesterday.
I don't have. Oh, tell me.
Ashley Collingbull did a Gollum yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So do you want to pull off one today?
I can't do that.
Oh, okay. Like, you don't have to do Gollum. You can just do any Lord of the Rings impersonation. I feel like now, like...
I don't have that in my bag, so...
Can you do a Lord of the Rings impersonation?
No.
Oh, okay.
I can't impersonate anything. I don't.
Wow. Guess yesterday did it, but I guess you guys are dropping the ball today. That's cool.
Oh,
EST Hangout is presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, where the 2 decades helping Canadians through life transitions. Canadian storage provider by Canadian. 75% off 8 weeks on 10 by 10 units. That ends March 31st. Sentinel.ca for more information.
Every time.
What?
Just wants to spice it up every time.
I'm just saying, like, with the two of you, like...
It doesn't even matter at this point. Like
Actually...
it was 2 minutes in.
2 minutes.
Ashley showed up and she did it, but if you guys didn't want to, that's cool. That's cool. Our listeners, it's 9:06, not on time. It says word caster. You're wrong. We start at 9:05 on our phone. You guys are later. You guys are. It comes up a little bit later. I guess in theory we could start a little sooner to make sure we start on YouTube at 9:05. Our time is 9:05. There's always a little bit of a delay to get on some of the streaming platforms. So, yeah.
I get it, Matty.
Things
Man,
are.
why is it always cremate in here?
It was nice yesterday.
Man, it's hot.
He also got a giant jacket on, no?
It's like a...
That seems pretty thick.
It's not that thick.
Can I feel it?
Yeah.
That feels like that's going to hold the heat in quite well.
It's nice.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
It's like a perfect, spring overcoat shirt. Feels nice.
Do you have a jacket today?
No.
Okay. You're going to pull out the jacket tomorrow?
Is it that bad?
You know exactly what I'm going to say to you, Matthew. You know exactly what I'm going to say to you.
I do. I will say this. I said it will snow in the month of March. I didn't say it won't snow. I just says it will go away quicker. And also, I'm very intrigued to see how much melts
10 to
tomorrow.
15 centimeters is what it's
gonna. Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that's not. But it's gonna, like, by the weekend, it's gonna all be gone.
You said that by the time February was done, all this nonsense was done. That's what you said.
Cold weather, and if it snows, it melts right away. Which it's gonna snow. It's gonna melt right away.
What's cold weather in your mind?
As I said at the time, like minus extended periods of highs of minus 20, minus 18, minus 17. We haven't been minus 10 or colder in the month of March for a daytime high.
Man,
and the snow melts right away.
And it's going to get 15 centimeters of snow, up to 15 centimeters.
And a lot of it's going to melt as it falls.
Get out of here. The fact that you threw that absolute blasphemy out there,
it's right.
Like 8 weeks ago.
My favorite part about all of this is in my first week here, summer was around the corner. Winter was over.
It was coming. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And how was this week for you?
We're still having it now.
How was this week for you guys? How was this week? Week was amazing.
Been awful.
It was a great spring this week. It was a great spring this week.
Oh, spring's done?
I said spring. I never said summer. I said spring.
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah. Got me words in my mouth there. No, it's when's the snow going to be gone?
Great question.
Is it going to be there on Monday?
10 to 15 centimeters.
Is it going to be there on Monday?
Who knows?
It's going to be gone.
It's supposed to be minus a whole week.
It's going to be gone. Watch it. We're barely going to get hit.
Can't even keep a straight face with that one.
Well, the last one, it was like we're gonna get hit all day and stuff, and like half the snow didn't even hit us. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And as I said, it's gonna melt really quick. And this is everything I said back in January. This is all part of it. I didn't say anything that's not true. I said if it snows when it snows, because it will snow, it's gonna.
You
melt
don't
really
even
quickly.
know what you said
I
because
did.
you're just spitting verbal diarrhea.
It's perfectly right. Oh, thank you. A visitor's never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. The hangout is never late. It is never early. The hangout starts precisely when it needs to.
That's like your spring take.
My spring take was brilliant.
It's very convenient.
Exactly.
My spring take, it was everything I said is accurate. And was accurate. Still is accurate.
Get out of here. You said it was done by February. And we're into March.
I stand.
We're into March.
If it snows, or when it snows,
Just
I said
for the
when
record,
it snows,
it's the 26th of March.
I know, and I said it won't. I didn't
And
say
you
it
said
wouldn't snow.
6 weeks. It's done.
Yeah, and it
we're going to
is.
get through winter 6 weeks.
And winter's
done.
over.
That's start of March. We're
Winter's
26
over.
days into March, and
You
this
could
thing
get
is
snow in
still
spring.
snowing.
Yeah, you could get snow in the spring.
You
It's
are
just going to melt. It's going to rain today.
outrageous.
It's going to rain tonight too. That's spring. It's not winter.
Dude, you are wild.
Oh, goodness.
Who's getting an echo?
I don't know why anyone would be getting echo. Is anyone else getting an echo? One person saying they're getting an echo. If anyone else... Oh, Lars saying getting echo. Jen saying she's not getting an echo. Let me just quickly throw this up.
Yeah, there's the echo.
That's good timing.
Yeah, that's perfect timing.
Yeah, maybe shut down and just turn it back on because there is no echo, at least on our end.
That's pretty clear.
That was a very
clear.
That was a very clear. Perfect timing for that
Oh,
one.
get to relive that.
That's great.
Do you have any more ranting about the weather? You want to
Nope.
complain a little bit more?
No.
You good? Do you want to complain about any of the weather?
No, I actually did go through. I was on Facebook and I saw Dash in the Park and yours little back and forth from a couple weeks ago, and it made me giggle. So I'm happy
About
this
the
is all
weather?
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What did Dash do?
We just posted a screenshot of the
What you
10-day
said.
forecast and
Yep.
it said this is Matt's fault. No.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, it's Big Uke now. No echo, just crappy weather predictions from Iwanyk. Big Uke, throughout the month of February, you were saying, oh, good job, Matt. You said what was going to happen. You're like ripping me for having the most basic take, and now you're going against me? Why, what a flip-flopper you are, Big Uke. Such a silly goose. Jeez. What a joke.
Well, you got him, silly goose.
Oh, well, and then Brett, I go back to this. It snowed and then was minus 15 for like 4 days after. It has not had, I found the historical weather for this month. In the month of March of 2025 in Edmonton, the daytime high has not been lower than minus 10. You are wrong. You are false. But again, you're a ref. What do I expect from you? Can't expect better from
Wow.
Brett. The guy couldn't even read his notepad.
Oh my God.
From the
Tell me
Heavy
how you
Hockey
really
Show.
feel.
He had a penalty for Tommy. And we got the penalty when Tommy was on the other team. So Brett can't even read his own notepad.
Oof.
I'm supposed to trust him with this type of stuff.
Oof. It's spitting fire.
Damn right. Oilers Stars tonight. Get ready for these late games. There's a lot of late games coming up for the Edmonton
I
Oilers.
don't like the late games.
That's trouble.
No?
I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like the 8 o'clock starts.
Is it because you have kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
It makes it hard, especially when you go to games, right? Like if I'm coaching too, I got to be up at 5:45 the next day. So usually not getting rolling in till probably 11:30. It's tough.
8 today,
Not
8
complaining.
tomorrow, 8 on Saturday against Calgary. You got 8 against Vegas on the 1st, 8:30 against San Jose. You get a 2 o'clock start on Saturday, this 5th against LA. 8:30, 8, 7:30, 5, 8, 8:30. There are
8:30 is the worst.
There are only 3 games left this season for the Edmonton Oilers that start before 8 o'clock. And that's a 2 o'clock afternoon. That is a 7:30 home game and a 5 o'clock Sunday. Get used to this because also once the playoffs comes,
Late draw.
we're getting the late draws here in the city of
Yep.
Edmonton. We're getting the 8:30 potential starts.
Oh my God.
So now we're in that.
We're in it.
We're in.
How are they going to do tonight? No Miro Heiskanen.
No Leon. No Connor.
I know.
Your thoughts?
I don't like their chances. Bad feeling in the pit of my stomach.
I like their chances.
Tell me why.
Because what I found when I watched the last game is that it's now forced the other guys to play.
Okay.
And so, like, you always look at the Edmonton Oilers, you always wonder why, like, their secondary scoring doesn't produce the way that it should. Well, I've come to a conclusion, and we've been talking about this for a long time. It's a Connor and Leon effect. It's those guys will do it. They're always gonna make something happen. And so it's easy, and you can get comfortable being like, oh, well, those guys are just gonna make it happen.
Just like defer.
Yeah, you just defer to them.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, they're out of the lineup, and guys are like, man, we got to play. So what happened? Nuge, Hattie, looked unbelievable. Podkolzin looked good. Skinner all of a sudden's like, who's this guy? So I think this is like actually a perfect situation because now you're dragging these other guys into the fight. You're making them play. And then when Connor and Leon come back with Kane and Frederick, now maybe you have the perfect storm to get into the playoffs. Like I actually kind of like where this is at. And now they have to play like a bit of more of a lunch pail style as opposed to like a lot of east-west and looking for those extra passes because you don't have those two guys that can obviously make those passes. You've got guys that have to be a little bit more north-south in the way that they play, and it seems to work.
Well, I think you and I had this conversation a few weeks ago on the Hangouts where we were bringing this up, and I said this might be dumb, but is there a way that you just sit Leon and Connor for a game to try to force it? And you're like, it's in theory not dumb, just almost impossible to execute.
Yeah.
Well, for poor, not reasons that the Oilers want, but they can execute it now.
Yeah.
They've gotten to execute this. And that's where it's like, okay, well now these players have had to step up, and we saw that on Saturday. They were able to go do it. Now, not the best competition. I think with tonight, I would expect the Stars are going to win still. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. No, I think this is going to be a tight hockey game right till the end.
I agree because I think, once again, like you're forcing the other players to play. And they have to make sure that they're playing well because if they don't, there's a high likelihood they're going to get blown out. So if you have these guys showing up and playing north-south hockey and taking away chances, like it's going to be a tight checking game. And I wouldn't be surprised because one thing we don't really talk about a lot is like this team does have skill. And I don't mean just Connor and Leon. Like there is skill throughout this entire lineup. And whether the skill shows up or not, it's a different story when those other two guys are in. And yes, there's flip-flopping of lines and all that kind of stuff, but this team does have skill. Like Skinner didn't just fall out of 30 goals one year and 20 goals. And like he is a perennial 20 to 30 goal scorer. So he's got skill. And now you're putting him in a situation where he can kind of be leaned upon. Well, it's going to elevate his game. Same thing with Nuge. Nuge has skill. Now you're leaning upon him. He has to elevate his game. So I could see the Oilers winning this game. Do I expect it? Not necessarily because Dallas is so good, but I can see them doing it.
I like it. I don't know. Yeah, but I agree. Like seeing Henrique come off the flank and rip one off the post on the power play there.
Yeah.
Like, where did this guy come from kind of thing, right? Like, you haven't seen it since last year's playoff run.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, when he got, he was at 50 points last year when he got traded here?
Yep.
So he was a guy that was leaned upon where he was playing. And like those guys they get confidence and they start to play the right way. And then all of a sudden it's a perfect storm. And I think this is just like a great opportunity for the Oilers and their secondary players and their tertiary players to become factors.
When is there a moment you might get concerned about Connor and Leon's health? Or is there?
I'm not concerned.
No.
No.
Let them just sit. Let them go.
Sit, make sure they're healthy for playoffs. Like that's what you're looking for.
Yukon Jack was on with the Bear. I'll give you credit for this question. He asked me on Friday when I was doing my morning sports hit, because I was in the morning show. What's more important, hot or healthy going into the playoffs? And when for this team especially, it's more health than hot.
Yep.
I don't care about their standings. I don't care about the Pacific. I don't care about second home ice.
Yep.
As much as nice as that would be down the line, I think the health is way more important.
Yep. That
with Leon and Connor, especially, I go, when you guys say you're healthy, then we say one more game.
Yeah,
we're gonna sit one more game. Oh, you're good to go to no, one more game. And then you can get back out there. And as much, even if they're like, no, we're ready to go. No, best thing for this team right now. We don't care about the regular season. Leon, we don't care about your chase for, well, you're not getting higher than that. He needs to get one more goal. He needs to get on the ice to get 50. If he plays the rest of the regular season, he needs that. He'll get that 50. But I don't even think he cares about scoring 50 this year.
No, I think they have one track mind and it's trying to win us down the cup. But,
they were too close last year.
Yeah.
They got too close to the big prize.
Yeah.
That's what's the focus.
I agree. And I do think that they need to be healthy. And if they are healthy, because there's been so many playoffs where those two have been banged up in particular, it's like, it'd be nice to see them healthy going into it. And Connor, like, you know, I think in the Four Nations, that was a hard tournament. And I think he was a little bit banged up, and I think he was also a little bit tired. And so now it's a perfect opportunity to get rest, get healthy. And so that when you come back, like, you're flying and you're McDavid again. And I think that in itself, when you have that with Leon playing the way that he is, now you have an ultimate 1-2 punch. Well, let the chips fall where they may.
Playoffs, as of right now, Oilers heading to LA to start the playoffs. Equal amount of games played, Oilers 2 points back. Vegas sits 7 points up on the Oilers, but the Oilers do have the game in hand, which they'll take into tonight for the Pacific Division. The Oilers aren't dropping out of the Pacific Division. So the question then becomes, who joins them in the Pacific? At this moment, it is the Minnesota Wild that would take on Vegas in the first round. However,
the Blues
have a game up. They have one more game played, but they're only 2 back of the Wild. The Wild have a lot of injuries.
Could you imagine this storyline?
Blues jump in to take on the Vegas Golden Knights.
No.
You think the Oilers go get Pacific?
Yes.
Well, I don't think the Oilers get in the Pacific
in the first round.
Or
could you imagine those storylines?
Oilers beat the Kings, Blues upset the Golden Knights.
Not happening.
Okay. Because I don't see the Oilers winning the Pacific.
Fair.
I don't see them in
but a man can
12
dream.
games making up 7 points on the Vegas Golden Knights and jumping the LA Kings.
A man can dream.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm going with the dream, maybe more of the St. Louis Blues knocking off the Golden Knights.
Man, it would be so good to watch the Blues versus the Oilers in the first round.
You want to pull up the stat? I think that's what you're looking up right now.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that after then a little bit. Yeah, because the Wild are falling.
Yeah, they're too banged up.
Do you think they could fall out of the playoffs?
Yep.
Because the Calgary Flames have 2 games in hand and they're 6 back.
Well,
they win one of
4,
those
5,
game in
and 1.
hand. They're 4 back. What do the Flames have the rest of the way?
The
Flames get
Wild
the
are 4,
Oilers.
5, and 1 their last 10. You've got the Blues at 8, 1, and 1. The Flames at 6, 2, and 2. Canucks at 5, 4, and 1. Utah at 5, 3, and 2. So, like, you're not even the hottest of those teams.
The Flames schedule the rest of this month. Stars on Thursday. Oilers on Sunday or Saturday. Avalanche on Monday. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
April, it's a mix. They get Utah, they get the Ducks, they get the Golden Knights, they get the Sharks, Ducks, Wild, Sharks, Golden Knights, Kings, last 2 games to make it. But Golden Knights and Kings might already be in a position of playoffs, resting people.
Just based on some of the stats, right? Like, you're looking at a differential for the Blues of plus 15, which is the best of all the other teams that are trying to vie for the wild card. They've also won 7 in a row. Like, everything suggests that they're going to overtake the Wild.
The Wild, the rest of the way, they get Caps. They get the back-to-back with the Devils. And one of those home and homes. You don't see that too much in hockey, like too often. They get the Rangers. They get the Islanders. They get the Stars. They get the Sharks. They get the Flames. They get the Canucks. They get the Ducks. The Wild are battling with a lot of teams that are in the playoff hunts.
Yeah.
And then the Vancouver Canucks are the other team I want to quickly look at here. Islanders, Blue Jackets, Jets. Kraken, Ducks, Golden Knights, Stars, Avs, Wild, Sharks, Golden Knights. That's a schedule for Vancouver Canucks. I think they're done.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't mind seeing the Blues play the Knights because that's a long travel series too.
Is it?
It's more than what? Probably the same as the Kings and Oilers. What is that? A 3-hour trip? 4-hour trip?
Nevada to there. Yeah, that'd be pretty similar. I'd have to say. Yeah, it's because I could look up the flights.
The last thing you want to see is just a layup series where it's like, hey, here's an hour and a half flight, and then you're just rested because of the travel. Like the West always has a little bit worse because of the travel and how far they actually have to go.
3:16 travel.
Yeah.
But 2 time zones.
Yeah.
Whereas the Oilers and the Kings would be 1 time zone.
Exactly.
Edmonton to LA flight time 3:35. So we're talking about a 15-minute difference, but 2 time zones.
Yeah, and that messes with you.
Does it in the playoffs?
A little bit.
Because like, do you not just stay on your time zone to a degree? Like, just keep trying to follow that, or
for the most part? But it's pretty hard to just follow exactly your time zone. So, like, if I'm playing in the East and I end up flying to the West, I'm not going to go to bed at East times. That doesn't happen.
What's Vegas and Minneapolis?
It's probably a 4. That's my prediction.
3 hours and 5 minutes.
3 hours and 5?
So it's a little less.
Oh, man, it was way off.
Yeah, so I would say that there's no advantage for
the time zone's
the winner.
The time zone's a bit of an advantage,
which actually then favors 2-3.
Yeah,
not number 1, not the winner of the Pacific Division. Because even if you go to Minnesota, it's a 2 time zone difference.
Yeah,
because Vegas is an hour behind us. Is there ever a time they're with us, or is that just Phoenix? I think that might be just Phoenix. And the other ones are in the Central time zone, so they have to deal with that. I don't want Oilers Kings again.
I don't either. I need them to pass the Knights. I need them to get hot.
The Kings?
No, the Oilers. I need the
again,
Oilers
that's
to
going to be a little
hot.
tough. Who do the
and
Kings
then I need the Blues to obviously leapfrog the Wild so that we can have Storyline City. Because, man, that would be amazing.
Kings, Avs.
Don't care.
Maple Leafs.
Don't care.
Sharks. I'm just trying to see what they have left.
Get
Oilers.
Blues in the first round.
Jets.
That's what I care about.
The Kings have a pretty tough schedule. I will say that. They've got the Avs twice. They get the Maple Leafs. They get the Oilers twice. They get the Jets. They will get the Flames in the last game of the season. So that might be the Flames really playing for that playoff life. It's not an easy schedule for the LA Kings.
They've also won 4 in a row, and they're 9-1 in their last 10.
Vegas has got the easiest schedule, outside of the Edmonton Oilers,
and they're 26-3 at home.
I'm not worried about that for the Edmonton Oilers.
Man, they're solid. That might be one of the.
Why would that even be the case?
26-3 at home.
Why would they be good at home this year?
I don't know, because it's LA.
Yeah, they're going to lose to the Oilers at home.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
I think they have the best home record in the league.
Oh, it's not even close, I don't think. It can't be.
Washington's 24-7, and Winnipeg is 26-6.
The Golden Knights get the Blackhawks and Preds to end this month. They will get the Oilers, the Jets, the Flames, Canucks, Avs, Kraken, Preds, Flames, Canucks. The Golden Knights ain't losing the Pacific Division.
They're not. Damn it. We were so close to getting the Blues Oilers.
It still could happen.
No.
It's going to take a second round.
It's going past Vegas.
Says you.
Okay. Well, I'm willing to put that out there.
They're hot.
Okay.
Maybe the Golden Knights. Maybe the Golden
Knights.
Yeah, but they're playing a weaker opponents.
Maddie, you can't even try to freaking lie your way.
I was trying to play a little devil's advocate there.
Don't you devil's advocate this. You know damn well that the Vegas Golden Knights aren't losing the Blues in a series. As much as we all want them to so that we can set up an Oilers Blues, because I would like to see the level of hatred from Oiler fans. Oh, it'd be glorious. It'd be glorious.
Can I put something in the universe that people are going to be really mad at me for right now? What if
Oh no, don't do it.
the Blues
Don't
knock
do it.
off the Golden Knights? They're sitting there. Everyone's like, oh my God, the rematches or this matchup's coming. But then the Oilers stumble and drop it to the other Kings.
Don't do that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it'd just be like looking ahead and then all of a sudden, oops.
Would you rather lose to the Kings or the Blues?
Kings. Because like,
Well, but if you're losing to the Kings, you're losing you're losing in the first round.
could you
Yeah.
imagine if it was like Broberg or Holloway that put you
Clinching.
out, like in OT, like game 7, and it's like one of those two that puts you out? You know how upset people would be? I'm laughing because of how bad it would be.
Be Vancouver 2010.
It'd be amazing. I kind of want to see it.
Them lose to those two? That's worse than what I'm saying.
I want to sit
Thanks
back.
for taking the heat off me
I
now,
want to sit
Belsey.
back and watch like with popcorn and be like, oh man, this is getting spicy. Here come the pitchforks. They're walking down to Rogers and they're going to string somebody up.
Look, this season, if the Oilers don't win a Stanley Cup, is going to be viewed as a disappointment no matter what. They're in that territory now.
I agree.
I think even getting to a cup final, it'll be like last year.
Like, that's the expectation.
I think a lot of people last year were like disappointed they lost, but they got like a cup final. Getting there is it's not. You're not going to look at that as a disappointing season. You're not going to look at it as a failure of a season. I think now though, because they got there the once, if you get back,
You got to win it.
I wouldn't call it a failure. I wouldn't go that far, but it would be then a disappointing season. As wild as that is, getting to a cup final, I think now they're in that level of it'd be disappointing.
Mhm.
But now it's just like I'm just trying to think. Okay, so they got to go in the cup. Let's put that aside, though. If you don't win the cup, there's an exit somewhere. I don't know what is like.
Who can beat them?
Well, no, first, second rounds. I don't know how anyone would live with that.
No.
I know.
This is
I
my
just
point.
but like I don't even think you can go. Well, the Kings, it was their due. Like I'm worried about the Kings just because I think they're due. Seeing a team match up against another team 4 years in a row. One team's won 3. Just historic. Like you feel like the other team's going to get one.
Yeah, it's got to flip tails sometime.
Even though I don't think.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't think Oilers fans or anyone would sit there and be like, well, they were due. It'd be a first round exit. But then if they lost to the Blues in a second round, you got a little closer. But you lost to the Blues, who you're supposed to be better than. I didn't even think losing to the Golden Knights in the second round would be acceptable.
You don't think?
I think people would be livid.
I think people would be livid too.
And I wouldn't even look at that. And I don't even think I could look back on the season and go, it was a successful season for the Edmonton Oilers. It wasn't. You lost in the second round.
The problem is if you play the Blues, and this is a very big hypothetical, so don't try to destroy me on people. Hypothetical, if those 2 stars that you had on this team that left would play a factor in that series, this city's burning to the ground a la 2010 Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
There would be a lot of heat on.
Oh,
Who is it Stan? Is it Jeff?
Jeff.
More than Stan?
If it's
Yep.
Because
if
Stan
it's
could have matched
Stan
the
more
offer
than
sheet.
Jeff.
Stan could have matched the offer sheet.
Yeah,
Dan
but Jeff-
Bowman
Yeah,
could
but
have
you're
Jeff that.
throwing
signed
right
him
in.
way earlier.
Happy first week on the job. Deal with this.
But he did. And I don't want to revisit that whole thing last
Okay.
summer, but he did revisit it.
but
He
people
got the
are-
room to keep those guys, and everyone thought after those trades for Emberson and trading away
Yeah.
Cody Ceci and the deal with, I think, Put Coles in Vancouver, did they shed salary in that one or no?
No, they traded
Okay,
a fourth.
but there was, the first one, there was, the cap space is there.
Yeah.
They can keep both. And they didn't keep one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's on, I would put that a little more on Stan.
Okay. Of
I
the
don't think
two-
we're not getting Blues Oilers. I will state that.
We're not, but
I would put that at like a 5% chance.
yeah, I would agree.
the hockey gods.
But man,
Come
storylines.
The storylines would be incredible.
Oh.
Well, like the storylines, I've mentioned this one out east. Right now, you get Toronto and Ottawa.
That would be great too.
Like,
That'd
how
be-
great would
that
that
one would be
story be?
great.
First round, Sens finally make it back to the playoffs,
Yep.
and they get their provincial rival. And what would be a better storyline if the Sens could beat the Leafs?
Yep.
But that's not as big as you play the Blues. You gave away 2 stars for nothing. when you had the chance, and both of those guys are like literally propelling the Blues to another level.
Now, with the Blues, though, are they getting hot too soon? They peak too soon here?
I just
Or is
think,
this a
I
case
just
of
think
the hot,
they're-
what you they could? This is something they could carry into the. I'll say this: I haven't watched any Blues.
I was
games.
going to say, I don't watch enough Blues
I
to
don't
really
watch
say,
it
but
either.
I would say you should be a little nervous as a Blues fan, no? What did you
No,
say?
because
8-1-1?
They're 8-1-1, but I think that there's been teams in previous years that have gotten hot at the right time, this time of the year, and they just carry it through the playoffs.
Oh, they're frauds.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, the St. Louis Blues are utter frauds.
Oh boy, here we go.
Let's go through the last few games that they've had with the wins. Beat the Canadiens. Give 'em a playoff team, give them that.
The Habitants?
Les Habitants.
Le Habitant.
Beat the Preds. Beat the Blackhawks. Beat the Canucks. Beat the Preds. Beat the Ducks. Beat the Wild. Lost to the Penguins. Lost to the Kings. Beat the Ducks. Beat the Kings. Lost to the Stars. Beat the Kings. That's in the month of March. Sure, I'll give them. They've beat the Kings twice in there. One of them was in a shootout.
Hey, you got to win the games that you're supposed to win.
But there's not a lot even the Montreal Canadiens, their last playoff team out east. You
got to win the games that you're supposed
the
to win.
Wild are trending downwards. They have the 2 games against the Kings this month that they have wins.
And
but
they
beyond
lost to the
that,
Stars twice?
They lost to the Stars once. But they have played a lot of teams that are on the playoff bubble or lower. They have not played a lot of teams that are above that playoff line, and they're going to get found out.
Those guys are all
They're getting found. I know, but they're getting found out. That's like
so. That's usually the best hockey, right? When if you're fighting for your life, and the other team's fighting for your life.
They did beat the Capitals.
Yeah,
in the February.
There you go.
Beat the Kraken. Beat the Avs. Lost to the Jets. That was all post. I'll just say in March, I'm not sold on the Blues. Looking at their schedule, having not watched them, just looking at the schedule, I'll go more so to their frauds. They'll get into the playoffs, sure. They're hot enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they ain't beating the Vegas Golden Knights.
No.
Not in a best of 7. They ain't beating the Winnipeg Jets. They ain't beating either of those 2 teams in the playoffs. In a best of 7 series, sorry.
No, I don't. I fully agree with you. But I just want the storylines.
Oh, 100%. I agree. Storylines do make sports great. It's getting to this. I stand by, even if it was, I would love Montreal to pass Ottawa in the wild card standing, because if it holds right now, then that would be Toronto-Montreal playoff series, which would be great. But then you get Washington-Ottawa. And I think with where things are politically, nation capital versus nation capital would be quite fun. Mm-hmm. If you're going to look at it from the storyline in that way too. Plus, if Toronto wins their division, which would be great, partly because if they lose, they might lose to another Canadian team, which is awesome. But then you get the Battle of Florida out of it.
Yep.
Right off the bat. There are some really good storylines that are playing. Dallas, Colorado,
even a round 2 Florida, Ottawa, say. Get the Chuck brothers go at it?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one too.
And you watched the Leafs lose in the first round?
Amazing.
Yep.
And it's Dallas, Colorado, Rantanen.
Yep.
Going up against his former club from just this season. There's a lot of good storylines that are either potential for the NHL playoffs or we're looking at happening in the NHL playoffs already. This is one of the best playoff races I think I've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. For so many open spots too, so many different things playing. And I think out east, if we say 6 points is
separating.
Yeah, that you could overcome 6 points, let's say. The Habs are at 75, which puts Pittsburgh and Boston still in the mix. So it's Islanders, Rangers, Blue Jackets, Detroit, Boston, Pittsburgh. 6 teams sitting out that are within 6 points of the Canadians. That East race is coming down right to the wire. If it's not the last game of the season, it's going to be game 80, 81 of the regular season. So there's a lot of fun storylines. But yeah, I look at the Blues right now and the idea of Oilers Blues in a second round, Golden Knights would really have to blow it in my mind.
Yeah.
Who's best team out west right now? If you had to put a favorite to come out of the West as of right now to go represent, what is it? They don't get the clearance.
Colorado.
You think Colorado?
I think Colorado's really scary.
8-1-1 in their last 10. 3 points back at Dallas for home ice in the Central. But the Stars have 2 games in hand, which tonight they will take advantage of one of those games, or look to take advantage of one of those games. I like Vegas because I think the Central is just so much stronger. I don't want to discredit the Kings or the Oilers, but
if you're saying the strong, like the best team right now,
if you're Vegas, you get to come through, like the favorite for you that's going to come through. I think Vegas is very good, as are these other teams.
The Oilers are the favorite.
In your eyes, the favorite to come through the West?
Yep. They are,
still?
For sure. Yep.
Over Vegas in that division.
Yeah, because once you get your guys back, you have 4 players sitting out that are legit players. And now that you're forcing your other guys to play, like you have a really good situation on your hands.
The competition that creates in-house too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which forces guys to play.
I like that.
I think the Oilers are still the favorites to come out.
But I like coming through the Pacific too right now too.
Yeah.
Because you got Dallas, Colorado, who can beat the crap out of each other.
Yep.
And then the winner's going to beat the crap with the Winnipeg Jets.
Yep.
And then they come through. And I'm not saying that the LA Kings and Oilers aren't going to beat the crap out of each other. And then the Oilers and Golden Knights aren't going to beat or Kings Golden Knights aren't going to beat the crap out of each other. I feel like it's going to be worse out in the Central.
I think it's going to be different. Like if you watch Vegas play and they play the Oilers, it's going to be heavy hockey. So I actually think the Oilers and Knights would beat each other up more.
Okay.
I think the Oilers and Kings would beat each other up more. The Stars and the Avs, like that's just going to be like a fast paced series.
Do the Oilers have it
forth
in them to win a heavy series?
Well, when you get the other guys back, yes.
You think that's enough?
I think it's enough.
And is Kane going to be that guy?
Well, if it ain't Kane, it's going to be Frederick.
Okay.
And then you know that in the playoffs, like Leon leans on people, Connor will lean on people, right? Like you have some guys that can play a heavy style of hockey. The Oilers don't want to necessarily play that, but now with some of the trades and guys coming back, you have the ability to do it. Janmark can do it. Perry can do it. So like you have pieces to that. Now they just got to figure out when and how. And I feel like the playoffs will be the kind of that time where everybody kind of ramps up a little bit, right? Hyman can play a hard, heavy game if he really needs to. But I feel like the Oilers obviously want to win on skill, let's be honest. But adding those other 2 players into lineup changes it, the dynamic.
Where would you slot Kane as of today? If everyone's healthy, you're Chris Knobloch, it's game 1. You're getting ready to go to LA to take on the Kings.
Well,
and you get Connor Leon back in lineup. What are you looking at doing?
Based on what I've seen, I would go. Well, I'd go McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Henrique down the middle.
Okay.
I know it's not conducive to like righty, lefty, and all that. You need a right-handed center, but from what I've seen, Nuge has played the best as a third line left winger. So then you go, okay, well, Skinner probably deserves to play in one of your
third line left winger for Nuge.
Sorry, centerman.
Okay.
You probably got Skinner at some point trending to play with either Connor or Leon.
Hyman will be up there.
Hyman. So like in a perfect world, based on scoring prowess, you're probably looking at Skinner, McDavid, Hyman. Second line, you're probably looking at Kane, Dry.
You throw him right into the second line.
And Arvidsson.
Ooh, that's a risky second line to me a little bit.
A little bit.
Arvidsson hasn't exactly had the best season.
You could go Frederick, Dry, and Arvidsson. That's just where Arvidsson's playing. Like,
no, I don't know if
it's not that one.
The more so the Kane. The guy hasn't played all year. Well, that's just
with Nuge.
But then who goes up on that second line?
Frederick. Yeah. So then your third line's Kane, Nuge, and I don't know, pick somebody.
I just
Brown.
don't think Evander Kane's ready to.
Is that a good third line? Kane, Nuge, Brown?
You know better than me. You tell me.
I do, but I'm asking you, like, what do you think of that line? Like, if everybody's playing at their best, do we think that's not a really good third line?
I don't know. I don't recall Nuge with Kane ever before. So I don't know how well
It's
they
a
work
whole
together.
world of possibilities.
I know. I don't know
that's the
how
whole
well they
point
would
of it.
work off of each other and stuff like that.
And then your fourth line is Perry, Janmark, and Henrique.
Are you missing anyone with that? All that?
Kapanen, Podkolzin.
Yeah. Well, just
Like where does he slot into the lineup?
Podkolzin?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why I feel like maybe he's the second line.
You can't walk into a playoffs with Podkolzin on your second line. I'm sorry. I have been talking how much I love this guy. Because I do. I think he's one of the guys that he works consistently with the hardest, over a long stretch of time. Like he is always working. He's like a dog on a bone. But you can't walk in to the playoffs with him.
Josh goes Henrique, Kane, Brown, third line. Davo, Nuge, Hyman.
But I wouldn't put Nuge back there because Nuge hasn't been good there. And like Nuge he's played center and he's been way better. Mm. Nuge at center, it forces him to move his feet. It forces him to be engaged. And that's what you want. You want Nuge to be engaged because Nuge engaged is a very good hockey player.
But maybe this is Unleash Nuge engaged.
Maybe.
That you throw him up there and he's going to be back to that Nuge with the winger.
There's so many possibilities. Though.
Any shot that Perry could play beside Dry? Or you wouldn't take that in the playoffs?
I don't think I'd want that for a whole series.
I think that there'd be times and spurts when it would happen.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're getting Kane back and you're getting Frederick back, like it opens a whole different world of possibilities. And now you can slot guys into legitimate spots. Like what has Dry been asking for? He's been asking for a big body that can skate, that can go get him a puck. Frederick.
Mm-hmm. Like I like him on the left, Perry on the right. Drop your two wingers down in Kane and Arvidsson with Nuge. Nuge and Arvidsson I've liked in the last couple games. And then you have your fourth line of Janmark and Brown with Henrique in the middle. Barring Perry can keep up on a second line.
Yeah, but I don't think Perry can do that.
And that scares me.
Yeah.
But flip-flop him and Brown. Maybe run that right side kind of through a blender.
What's good is if you could get at least three lines going. If if things are late, you could move things to a two line. If Nuge is really going still as a center, and he keeps that game going, he could jump up to a second line while Draisaitl goes up to a first line, and you could mess with things that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it makes it. You look at that lineup and you're like, okay, well,
yeah, that's deep.
It's a deep lineup. There's not a lot of holes there.
And like you said, Podkolzin didn't even make that.
Yeah,
and should he be in your top six? No, but he can play fourth line.
He can play on the fourth line, but who are you going to move out on the fourth line? And then actually,
I think that's a rotating spot that you can have.
Is there too?
I think that's the fourth line is something you could rotate.
Jones is there. He's been playing fairly well too when he comes up. He adds some pieces to that team, so
you could rotate around on the fourth line. Players in and out throughout a series.
Outside shot of Savoy. No shot.
No, let him percolate.
I like that.
I don't know what's going on in Bakersfield.
Yeah, you just let him play. You let him play on the farm. You let him do his thing, get all the confidence he needs, and next year you bring him up and you saddle him shotgun with one of the two big boys. And you say, that's where you're playing the whole year. I don't care. You go play there because that's a skill level that is required from a young guy moving into your lineup.
Yeah. St. Louis will offer sheet and we won't need to worry about that.
Jeez.
Stirring the pot a little bit over there. Oilers are supposed to skate 10:30 today. Media Avail to follow, so keep an eye on that for what's going on.
Isn't that scary that Podkolzin could be out of the lineup?
Yeah.
Why is that scary? Is that scary or is that a good problem?
It's a great problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it could be. Like, could Perry come out of the lineup and his captain go in? I don't know about that one, but Perry adds a grit factor that you want in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But there's times
but can Perry
against the
do
Stars,
a full series or like a series where it's every second game type thing?
I don't know.
At that level. Or would I feel like he could be a guy that maybe middle of a series you could take him out to give him a little rest.
Yeah.
Just based off his age and stuff like that.
And then insert Podkolzin.
Well, on all of this, we have Kane in there too. Like, we're certain Kane's back for playoffs. Because Podkolzin would then slot in.
Well, Kane was skating last week with the team.
He looked better in his last video that surfaced.
He'll be ready, if not game one, he'll be ready in the first couple of games, I would assume.
Yeah.
My guess is he's probably going to be ready for the end of the regular season, but now you just wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chief Andy, Oilers have had too many players that have been an offensive no-show all season, let alone unreliable goaltending. I can see the Kings winning. Well, the Kings are a good hockey team too.
Yep.
And they're not playing that.
The 1-3-1.
Yeah.
They still don't score enough goals for my liking.
But
But
okay, they have 206 goals this year. The Oilers have 229.
Yeah,
Actually, that's a
of
pretty
all
big
those
difference.
teams, like
They don't give up goals.
they
Where are
don't
we?
score a ton, but they don't give up anything.
What is the goals allowed? The Kings are second in terms of goals allowed, 178. The
Yeah.
Jets are the best team at 172. The Jets are plus 77 goal differential.
That's unbelievable.
As for the LA Kings, they're bottom third in terms of goal scorers at 206.
The problem with the LA Kings is that, okay, if every game's going to be a 3-2 game, do you have enough horses to make it 3-2 for you? And that's where I don't think they have the ability to do that.
The one thing they do also have is Deneau, who actually does pretty well against McDavid.
Which is fine.
I'll give him that.
But then you have...
There's not a lot of players I think
Yeah.
can handle McDavid a little bit. Deneau's one of those that I think could do it.
But it comes down to a 3-2 series, though. And I don't know if
They don't have a
LA
60-point
scores enough.
player this year.
No, they don't score enough to be
Kempe's
like,
50
I'm on the positive side of that 3-2 victory.
Kempe's got 58 points. Kopitar's got 57. Fiala's got 50. Byfield goes to 44. In terms of goals, they've got 3 20-goal scorers. Guess who one of the 3 are?
Yeah, full jelly.
Fogel's 20 goals.
Yeah.
Fiala's 28. Kempe's 29. Byfield will get there. He's at 19. Kopitar should get there. He's at 18. Lafreniere. I forgot they have Lafreniere. He's at 15. So they don't have those. What's their goal? Like,
The one for me is Kemper.
He's got a 919 save percentage this year with a 210 goals allowed average. I said it last summer. I thought the Kings, because a lot of people had the Kings dropping. I like the Kings to have made the playoffs still going into this season. Because I like the move of Kemper because he was better than what they had last year.
Correct.
And the guy knows how to win in the playoffs in the end if they needed to. And he's doing that right now. I'd be a little scared of Kemper. Hey, he knows how to beat the Edmonton Oilers.
In the playoffs?
In 4.
Yeah, he did it in 4.
Oh, when he was with
Avs.
Colorado? Yeah. Different beast.
Sure, 100%, but it's
Much different.
like
beast.
I think if I'm Kemper going into a playoffs when the position is so mental, you could go in going like, okay, I've done this. Let's go.
Yeah, different beast.
You could go to the locker room and be like, guys, let's do this. I've done it. That might be that little confidence that the LA Kings need to start a series against the Oilers. No? Okay.
No, because it's a completely different beast.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry, but like
that's fine.
comparing the Kings to the Avs that year, the Avs were on a different planet.
I know, but you don't think in the locker room, like type thing.
Not a
It's
chance.
if for him at least, it's I've beat them.
Yeah, like
I
you can
helped
have
beat them. What was his
solace
save
in
percentage?
the fact that you were part of a team that was so good that you absolutely dismantled a team. Sure, you could have solace in that, but he didn't do anything.
Yeah, like
He
you're
just-
talking
he-
3-2 games.
Yeah.
Those were 5-2 games.
Those were 5-2 games, and like it was a beating.
Career playoffs.
So
No, wrong button, Matt. Idiot.
no, I'm going to go with absolutely not.
Career playoffs. I'm going to find this series. Portions of this hour of the EST Hangout. They are brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Stock, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehighproductmarketing.com. Did he not play in that series?
Who would have?
Well, I'm seeing his splits. It's only one game he might have played in that series. Did he get hurt in that series? Because it was an 8-6.
Oh, there goes that theory.
Well, yeah. I might completely misremembered this then. Because he played 27-19, and then Frank Cruz came in and played the rest of that. And I think Frank Cruz played that series. Kemper might have gotten hurt. And he came back for the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah. It was Frank Cruz that beat the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah.
Oh, so that
Theory's gone. Yeah, definitely. That's nothing. You're not doing that one.
Oh.
I forgot about that completely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's out the window.
No, that's not giving you confidence as a player.
Yeah. No.
And like DJ the Planner, sober up Iwanyk, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, I know that was 4 years ago, but I think just for a player mentally to try to find that little something, because the LA Kings need to find something to get them ready to take on the Edmonton Oilers to be like, we could beat this team. We've lost 3 straight years. I think they need a little something.
What you need to do is you need to bring up 2 minor league meatheads, and you say your sole goal in game 1, and we're going to throw game 1, is you're going to try to take out Connor and
Can't
Leon.
give up game 1 to the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm sorry, but you got to get rid of Connor and Leon. Like, let's be honest. That's the way that you're going to beat the Oilers. Because if you have those guys playing, there is nothing that you can match up with. So if you look at just a series from a whole and you say roster to roster, it goes down the list. The Oilers are always going to be better than the opponent for the most part, because you start with, okay, well, Connor McDavid's the best player in the world. Who's matching up against him on LA? Well, it's Kopitar. You're taking Connor. The next one is Draisaitl,
who might be the best player in the world at this moment, like this season.
So the next guy down on the list for the Kings is who?
Byfield. Daily face
Kempe, Byfield,
or Dano.
I'm taking Draisaitl. Then your next guy is what, Hyman or Kane? From a skill standpoint, it's probably Kane.
Yep.
Versus Byfield, maybe a wash.
I don't think you can give up, especially a home playoff game.
I'm just saying.
I think that's tough.
The only way the Kings are beating the Oilers is if you bring up 2 minor league meatheads and you say, go take a 15-game suspension on both of them, pull them out of the lineup because they're hurt, go nuts from there. Now, I don't condone that.
No, I
but like,
understand what
let's
you're
be
saying.
honest. Like that's how you have to figure out beating the Oilers, because Connor can win a game by himself. Leon can win a game by himself.
Truthfully, I think for the Oilers, it actually benefits them more with the 4th year take on the LA Kings to go to LA to start the series than start at home.
Yeah. I mean, Leon's been winning games by himself all year.
Go get a split. Come home. Take care of business here. 3-1. Kings are going to be sitting going, what do we have to do to beat these guys? And they're going to be decimated mentally.
Yep. Belle is on glue, yes. In what respect?
I think saying to go take out guys. But in a perfect world, you'd want that. But
in a perfect world,
LA Kings won't even do that.
It's never going to happen.
No.
So this is obviously
The
a
NHL wouldn't like
hypothetical,
that.
nonsensical situation because we're on the Hangout talking about it. But like, that would be the only way that possibly could happen. Like, outside of that, you're not beating, sorry, Kings, as good as you are. I don't think there's a way that you're beating the Oilers.
The Silly Goose Big Uke says, if the Kings lose game 1, immediately the oh no, here we go again comes into their head. And that's why I don't think they could give up game 1 or something. So much pressure on them. They lose game 1, it's here we go again.
They go down in
4 years
4.
straight. Yeah. And that's why I'm just saying, like, I think the LA Kings are going to need to try to find any sort of motivation. Like, we could do this. And that's why I had Kemper not gotten hurt before I remembered that or read into that. I think that would have been something that they could have tried leaning on to try to find that little nugget to be like, we could take this team on. I don't think that there's the 2 games left. I don't think they matter as much for the Edmonton Oilers. I think they matter big for the LA Kings. If the LA Kings can take these final 2 games against the Edmonton Oilers,
walk in with a little bit of confidence.
That's maybe where you're coming in with a little bit of the swagger going, yeah, we've got this. The last 3 years don't matter. This is the year that matters. And look at what we've done recently. I think that's maybe what they're going to go to. Whereas the Oilers, I think it will be, our guys are hurt. Our guys aren't there. Whatever. Playoffs are different. We beat you the last 3 years. We'll do it again.
Toons is the driving cat. Are you a Kings fan? That's what I need to know. Because I asked him what regard, and he goes that the Oilers are winning versus LA Kings. Glue. Huh. Kings fan. Wild.
Who's a Kings fan? You are?
No.
Matthews.
Tones is the driving cat. Because he asked Belzy is Belzy on glue? And Belzy said, why am I on glue? And his response is that the Oilers are winning LA. His thought that the Oilers are beating LA is why he sounds like he's on glue.
Maybe. Never been on glue. Right.
I used to sniff a really good marker before a Bears sports hit back at the old place. Myself and Warren Bears, there was a really good one, and he'd smell it, and then he'd throw it to me, and I'd smell it. Those are smelling salts.
Yeah,
Before
the
it
old
hit their
smelling
mouth.
salts. Yeah.
And someone stole like the pen. We did it for a couple of years. It lasted a long time, and then somebody like moved the pen, and we didn't know where it went.
Oh, it's devastating.
You're an oil fan since '78. So then, how am I on glue? We're on the same page, dude. We're winning it.
Dean in Medicine Hat. Is there a timetable yet for Frederick when Frederick is coming back, or still TBD? I'd go with TBD probably, because they say not this week.
I think
Next
he's
week.
still got a couple weeks. What I heard recently.
I hope he's back before the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
Because having to pay a little extra to get salary retention when the guy doesn't play in the end, it doesn't matter. It's rough. It's rough asset management in my eyes.
Yeah, but you're probably going to try to re-sign him, which you should do. So now he's going to be part of your roster. And you're going to let some other things go.
Kemper had an eye injury, got the stick in the eye. That's what it was. Thank you to the texter who didn't leave their name, and I don't know if my system doesn't have a name in it. 780-218-9999. You could text us, and Bogner also mentioning that, torn ACL for Alphonso Davies. I thought it was nothing. I talked about it on Monday or something, but he's out 6 months. So Davies won't be back until September. His agent is not happy with Canada and Jesse Marsh. Released a statement just ripping him.
How was it their fault?
Because he said, summarizing the. Oh, I forgot to, by the way, throw this.
Ooh, nice shot.
Thank you. Summarizing the thing is Jesse Marsh and them shouldn't have played him. It was a nothing match. And it sounds like he's saying that Davies didn't want to play, but they pressured him and forced him to play, which I don't believe is true. I don't think that that's true at all too. The agent sometimes can spout off.
I think there's definitely pressure to play in certain situations.
It was a third place match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jesse Marsh would have fully pressured him to play that match, unless it was.
Well, he's wearing the captain armband now, no?
He's the captain of the team too.
Like, step up, sir.
Well, and it's like, I know Stefan Eustachio didn't get the start. He wasn't happy that he didn't get the start. He wanted to play, so it's like when I saw it, I'm like, oh, well, even if Davies did actually say I don't want to play and they forced him, I also then kind of do look at it and go, the other guys wanted to play too here. The other guys wanted to go win this one. You are the captain. There were the issues of the past when it came to the Canadian soccer. There was a when it came to like the CBA with Canada soccer, there was a rift with the players, and one of those was like Davies didn't care because he has his, and it's like, well, you got to do stuff for the other guys, help them out. So the brotherhoods kind of went away after that, and it kind of feels like Davies is part of the reason that the brotherhood goes away. It's like, well, if you want to be the captain of this team, you got to step up. You got to show up. And I didn't think it would have been that bad, but torn ACL is pretty bad. And it does suck because they're in a hunt for Champions League. They're in the hunt for the Bundesliga in Germany. Yeah. So it is a big loss for them.
It's a massive loss.
And it's a tough, it's a lot to recover from.
Is Bayern still in first?
Let me
I'm assuming they are, because they are every single year.
Oh, no, they haven't won. They didn't win last year. I hope they lose just for a specific reason, which I'll explain right away here. They've got a 6-point lead.
Yeah.
So
who's second?
Leverkusen, who won it last year.
Nice.
Is Harry Kane not playing for them too?
He is, and that's why I kind of want them to lose, because Harry Kane never could win a trophy. He can't win trophies. And then the moment he goes to Bayern Munich, they don't win a trophy, like a major trophy. And it was just like, this story is awesome that this is continuing.
Such a heel.
And if they find a way to drop it again this year, it's just like Harry Kane just can't get it done. And it's just a wonderful story in that sense.
I also like first team all names.
Harry Kane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you can spin that a lot of ways.
It's I do find that funny. So they are good to be able to go without Alphonso Davies and Canada. There's a Gold Cup coming up this year. There's the little tournament that they've created with Ukraine, New Zealand, Ivory Coast. He won't play in those, but as long as he doesn't get hurt next year, he'll be at the World Cup. And I don't think he's going to pull himself from the World Cup.
No,
in Canada.
No,
he's going to want to be there.
Chance.
So yeah, also careful what you're calling out Jesse Marsh here.
That seems like a wild move.
He's going to be the manager. Well, this is an Alan Walsh move.
It's Davies. It doesn't matter.
I know from both sides though, but it's like Jesse Marsh isn't going to change how he's managing this team.
This is true.
The Canadian soccer fans love Jesse Marsh right now.
Yeah.
Don't go against Jesse Marsh. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage expert for more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider, sentinel.ca. By Canadian. Check them out for any of your storage needs. They are proud supporters of the Canadian soccer program. Shawn, Belle, Brendan the intern, Matt Iwanyk with you here on the Hangout. Live on Edmonton Sports Talk, a clear choice for Edmonton Sports. We're on iHeart, TuneIn, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, live on YouTube. And you can watch us wherever you get, or listen to us wherever you get your podcast. Today we've got Lock Shop. We got the Oil Stream. Dusty on location. I don't know which on location he's at, or which location he's at for BPs, but he's on location for Lock Shop and Oil Stream. EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkin Show. 7 o'clock will be the GCLT's Oil Stream pregame show, as it is an 8 o'clock between the Oilers and the Stars. X-Ray Jay can see Pickard coming in against the Kings and showing why he has the third best winning percentage of all goalies. I hate that Stu is a coin flip, but at 24 wins versus 21 loss plus OT loss is a coin flip.
Stu Skin is their number one, and they're going to run with number one for as long as they possibly can.
Thanks, Big U gets BP's Westgate.
Oh, nice.
Down the street. Big U heard. It was on the morning show. So there'll be a Westgate today, and then Tommy's there tomorrow for pre and post. Stu is your guy, but there will be a moment that they, I think, need to go to Calvin Pickard in the playoffs.
Maybe. Yep.
For that reset.
Yep.
So.
Dusty, hey?
There's no one to work around here anymore. Where is everyone? I'll just leave that.
Yeah. I got a confession.
Oh,
I'm now an Elks season ticket holder.
nice.
Are you?
Yeah. Twisted Tea section.
Round of clicks. I was going to clap, but I'll give a round of
Yeah.
Thank you.
Supporting
Thank
the
you.
local team.
Yeah. Twisted Tea section. Standing only.
You got you in with someone, or you just got tickets and you're going to try to find someone to go with you every game? Or
no,
did you get a
I'm in
single?
with someone.
Okay.
Got 4 tickets.
Ooh.
Cost me $550
Total
total
for the 4.
for the 4.
Wow.
How many games do you get?
9 plus a preseason. So 10.
It's 10
If you
games.
care about the preseason.
10 games. 1 ticket was $137
For the season.
for the season.
It's a good
That's
price.
absolutely insane.
Yeah.
137?
137.
Quick math.
That's $15 a game if you take away the preseason.
That's insane. And if they get a playoff, now you get 11 games.
Oh yeah, you get the playoff game too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, wouldn't you have to buy it? Or
No,
no?
the guy said to me, he's like, if we make the playoffs, you get a game. Oh, this is even better.
Oh, jeez. Home playoffs. It's possible.
Just saying. What a find.
It's a nice spot. It does look like a fun area to go watch a game.
It is.
And you're right, like you're in that spot. There's the bar, CW's bars right there to go get things.
And the sun the whole time.
If you stand on that side.
I'm on that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
The east side.
Which is
I
the
prefer the east
visitor
side.
side.
Yeah, I prefer the east side because of the sun.
Yeah.
I want that.
So I'm kind of excited.
Awesome.
I might go to more than one game this year.
You're going to have to go to, well, hopefully you bought tickets for 9 of them.
I might go to like 3. If anybody needs tickets, hit me up.
Go check out Tailgate.
Yeah, and my buddy actually has a spot for tailgating, so he's like, "You want
Does he?
to share it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." This is setting up to be an unbelievable
You're
situation.
going to have some days
Oh,
that are
man.
going to be fun.
Oh, there's going to be some great days.
Drinks are somewhat reasonable, right?
They're not Rogers Place
Yeah.
prices, I would guess. People,
like
obviously,
you're still
I don't
getting
get there.
rinsed, but
Well, I don't think
they're not
it's-
ripping off your arms.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But, the beauty of the tailgate is you could get that pre-buzz going pretty nicely.
Well,
Yeah.
And then, well, I don't know if they fully want to. Oh, I think that gets known that there's drinking, but I don't know if it's full. I don't know. I'm not going into all the semantics.
fair enough.
But you could get a good buzz going in. If you need some, you can go get your drinks there while the game's going on too. Football's an event. Football in down south is an event. It's not just a game thing.
Yeah.
Tailgate's open 3 hours ahead of time
We need to turn it into an event here.
in Edmonton, and it's turning that way.
Slowly.
It is.
Slowly.
A few TSM people who get to go around the CFL lot
Yeah.
say Edmonton has the best tailgate now.
Really?
Jerry Haraxi, Spirit of Edmonton, they do a fantastic job with their tailgating and stuff. They get the band, Tall Boy. They do. Jerry, connect with Jerry. Jerry will take good care of you. Lieutenant Erick, by the way, going hashtag Summer of Shawn.
Oh man,
which I do love.
setting up for it. Clearly.
Hopefully EST will be back there this year, so you could stop by our tent. You've got Turf District. You got Elks Hurt that do a great job on tailgate. Jason and Andrea, who are nasties, are in the tailgate. There's a lot of good people just right off the bat, right there. And your buddy. You're set up for tailgate. You're set up to go walk around and see people. And then you got to just go make new friends and go enjoy tailgates. So it's going to be
I'm in a great spot. It's going to be awesome. This might be like an every year thing.
I do have a few extra bottles of Birdie booze in my office that I've discovered that I think I'm going to send the boys down with if we're in tailgate this year.
I've got a couple extra
games
in my fridge at home.
Be like, hey, come on down. Because we usually give water and bag of chips. Just a nice little, everyone else has got things. We've got those things covered, but also the boys could sit there and be like, hey, you want a little nip of something? You want a little shot? Hopefully, we're there. Hopefully we are there. We're not confirmed there.
You are my man. Welcome to the Elks Hurt, Bellsy. If you want a break from the heat, my buddy has a luxury box on the east side, and he allows me and others to mooch off the food. Wow. Whew, this is
big. You could plan on attending a few more Elks games and tailgates this year. I highly recommend it. I do. There's 9. You don't even have to go to all of them. I'm saying, go pick a couple of dates in the summer and get to the Labor Day rematch.
Mm-hmm.
My hope this year, if the Elks can get off to a good start, the buzz starts early for the Labor Day rematch. It could be sold out mid-August. And then the Elks could announce, you want to know something? We're going to open up a few sections in the upper deck.
Ooh.
We're going to open up a few extra. If it sells out the week of, they're not doing it. It's too quick of a turnaround to get the staffing, to change all the logistics behind that.
I'm okay. Thank you, though. What a saint.
I don't get an offer, but that's cool. Thanks, Eric.
What an absolute saint.
Yeah, I was having coffee today. No, I'll get some after the show. That's okay, though. But thanks for the offer. Where is it going? So it needs to be a few weeks.
Yeah.
And that's always a fun game. That's always a pretty busy game.
Yeah.
Last few years have been highly attended. It's a good one. And I really hope that they can get that one. I'm worried about the start of the season for the Edmonton Elks. It's not the easiest, but if they could get off to a nice start, I think the buzz around this team is going to grow. Does Coolbet have the line for the wins this season yet? It was a tight one. Came right down to the wire. Football, CFL, futures. No, they still only have Grey Cup winners. Ooh, the Elks have moved up even more. They were plus 1,300 a few weeks ago. Now they're plus 1,150.
Who's your favorite?
Would you care to guess?
Not on the spot like this.
Toronto. There's 8 teams to pick. You've got 8 teams to choose
makes
from.
me missing look that much worse.
Toronto.
That's awesome.
Toronto's the favorite, followed by Montreal, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, BC, Ottawa are tied. BC and Ottawa, Edmonton, Hamilton, and Calgary.
Are we worried about Trey Lance? I'm saying we right now because I'm part of the Elks.
Take it over. You're in.
I'm in.
You're in. Use the we. Screw you, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy. Don't you tell me differently.
Piss off.
Did he actually comes?
He's on the negotiation list of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So every team has X number of players that goes on the neg list. And if that player ever chooses to come to the CFL,
they get
the first right goes to only that team.
His dad played for the Riders.
Did he?
Ooh.
I did not know that.
I think I saw that this morning.
I think more quarterbacks need to do this. I think Josh Rosen should have tried doing this. Trey Lance should try doing this. If you can find a team in the CFL, and there's going to be one team in the CFL usually any given year that's like, we don't have a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for a quarterback. Come here. If it doesn't work, you're done. But you're probably done anyways at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who's going to give Trey Lance a shot really in this? Like, if you're not getting that shot again, come to the CFL. Because if it does work, though, if you come out and you have a pretty good season or two, maybe that NFL team says, you want to know something? Come be our backup. And you could head off to go become a backup. I would hope he comes to the Canadian football. Or at the other side, actually, there's a third side to that. You just stay here.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no offers from the Canadian Football League. You're doing well, and you go, you want to know something? I'm going to make a career in the Canadian Football
Yeah, but
League.
is he not just in a really bad spot? Because in Dallas, like you've got Dax. And as much as we can sit here and say Dax is either like really good or really mediocre or a bit of he has some stinkers, but he's still the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So it's not like Trey Lance is going to get in because Dax is never bad enough to say, okay, you're out.
Well, and he wastes way too much money to just throw on the bench all season.
I think that the Trey Lance, it starts with he was with the 49ers. He was supposed to be the guy, and then Brock Purdy takes over. And Trey Lance, I think everyone then is like, well, he's damaged goods now not in a physical way, but I think perception way. So he gets traded to Dallas.
He hasn't even really had a shot.
No.
I don't think he has either.
But it's the same, like Josh Rosen was taken second overall, whatever it was, by the Cardinals. He has one season. They then draft Kyler Murray. He goes off to Miami, I think. I think he was in Buffalo. And now he's... Actually, Josh Rosen's like going for like a MBA or something like that.
Rosen had more opportunity than Lance did.
But he only had the one season of actually playing as a starter. And all of a sudden, he's done. Yeah. Like, no one cares. What's he going for? Oh, quarterback, Cleveland Browns. Oh, that must be old. There was a graphic of like that draft class, and they showed where everyone was, and like Josh Rosen was like something in school, and it was kind of like, oh, they're doing Josh Rosen dirty right now. What's he up to? He's a student at a Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's an Ivy League student, but I think that's where Trey Lance is too. And no one's going to give him a shot now. No one's looking at him as a guy that, okay, he's going to be our backup. He's going to be the future. And so it's like, I think at best he's going to turn into a third stringer, which is, if you could be a third stringer in the NFL, there's good money. You can last for a while. But I think if you're also Trey Lance, young enough, you think, I can be a starter. Yeah. Come to the Canadian Football League or go to the UFL. I think the CFL is better though for that. Come to here, try to show that you are. And if you can do it, the NFL will bring you back.
Yep. It'll be an interesting situation there. Because he's 24 years old.
That's crazy.
And he's like, well, I think what his hype was, he was a bit of a dual threat quarterback. He could obviously run, but he could throw. So if you have that young of a quarterback, third overall pick in the NFL, you know he's got talent, but he just hasn't been able to play.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool to see him up here.
I think that's a great spot for him because, like, if he signed this year, let's say at some point, they got Trevor Harris for this year. They brought in Jake Mayer, who's looks like, could he be the next guy? But what we saw in Calgary was this guy, he might not find it.
Yeah.
And so if he come in, compete with Jake Mayer for the job next year, this is yours. Saskatchewan wants the franchise quarterback moving forward, or some guy to take over. There's a spot. The only other place would be Hamilton right now. Like every other team has a quarterback.
The Hammers got Tua's brother.
They got Tua's brother. I don't know. They've got Taylor Powell, who they like, but they still got Bo.
Yeah.
And I don't know but they don't know who I think their next guy is. Montreal's Davis Alexander. Ottawa's still with Drew Brown. Calgary's with Chad Kelly. Winnipeg also is looking at the next one, but he should look at Winnipeg as well.
Yeah.
Now, Saskatchewan's got the neg rights, but Winnipeg's going to move on from Zach possibly after the end of this year. Calgary's going to has VA, but they also got the PJ Walker. Yep. I think they're set feeling that they're good. And BC's got Nathan Rourke. Edmonton, we obviously have Trey Ford. There's those two prairie spots. If you're Trey Lance, I think look at those. And try to rebuild your career.
San Francisco, Dallas,
Winnipeg
or Saskatoon or Regina.
Oh, what a fall.
It hurts.
What? Dallas to Regina.
Thank God it is a summer league.
But in the end, you go and you do well. All of a sudden you could be back. You could be, hypothetically, New York Jets after that.
Yeah, woo.
When they're looking for their next quarterback.
You don't think Fields is going to stick?
Fields, no, he'll be fine. It's the New York Jets. They're always looking for a quarterback. Sorry, fine. Sorry, Josh Clausen in that one. Yeah. It's the 2 years from now they're signing another quarterback. Yeah.
Do you think that you know how here in Edmonton, there's a lot of guys that come up to Edmonton, they enjoy it, then they stick around. Do you think it's the same situation in Regina?
To keep people around?
Yeah, like where guys just move to the community and stay here.
They get a lot there. They get more. They get more.
Okay. Because I feel like it would be
in Regina,
a
lot of guys will stay. There's a lot of former riders that are in that market. Like Dusty and I, back at 1260, we were trying to, one year when the Grey Cup was in Regina, TSN Radio was just going to do a simulcast of the TV, and Dusty like we'll do it for free. Like we'll drive. Dusty's already going. I'll join him in his car. We'll drive down. I'll pay for hotel room or whatever, and we'll do the whole broadcast free. Like, and we're just saying like we'll get a color on us. Dusty's like, I'll pay out of my pocket to get that guy. And I was like, we could throw a rock and we'll hit a former rider. Like we could find someone to do that. They said no, because why would you want a free broadcast? That's one of the sore spots I have of
they're
all
still
that.
salty there, hey?
Well, honestly, it was one of those, like, we ended up doing TV simulcast. It wasn't as good because it's a TV play-by, like, if we brought Dusty in here to explain, like, TV play-by-play versus radio play-by-play is different.
Yeah.
TV that you don't have to be as descriptive as you do on radio because you have picture. And it was then as a chance for me to possibly be part of a national broadcast.
Yeah.
And my boss screwed that one up. He took it to the wrong boss, and they just like, no, we don't want to do it. And they gave us a BS excuse for why. But yeah, I just remember like, we would have no problem finding a color analyst because there's a lot of riders there.
Yeah.
Edmonton does well with it here.
Because I could see a lot of these guys coming up and just being like, man, like it's different. It's quiet compared to like some of the places that they are from. Like going from Dallas to Regina, as much as we're joking about it, because it's just so vast and different. It would be a really quiet, nice change of pace.
Yep.
But still funny.
Couple comments. I got a few people. Norm in a combine. I think this is Anthony, the goalie and stuff. And myself will do a smoke meat night for the tailgate. We're already planning it.
Oh, no.
Mike, the Michigan fan.
So
are you going to
loud.
let Norm in the combine, Big Uke, and myself run a tailgate for EST this year? I could bring my flat rock to cook some smash burgers or whatever we come up with. I will say, like,
This is shaping up to be a leap.
well, Norm in a combine did offer last year.
$550 for 4 tickets.
Well, you don't even have to go to the game to go to the tailgate. Enjoy it.
That's true.
That's the crazy part of it. Like, you can go enjoy tailgate, but honestly, enjoy tailgate, and it's just fun to go to the game. And then there's a game. Go watch, have fun, bring the fun inside. But like VR last year went to the tailgate, and then he joined Jay and I at Century Casino for the game. Like it worked out really nice for him. No, but again, like we're not sure that we'll be at tailgate or not this year. I do hope that maybe there's a way that Jay and I could also broadcast from there, because I was like, if I go, like we have a little barbecue my brother gave me. I wanted to be like, yeah, no, we'll do some food this year.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be fun to elevate that. But yeah, I know Norm last year offered, and he couldn't. Something came up through work, so we couldn't do it. But he wanted to do to run our tailgate for one.
I think we need to
so
make
I
this
will
happen.
gladly give the tailgate spot to a few people if they want. Like if we get one and you want to go cook, you can go join whoever's running it down there. And
I think
have
more
some fun.
people need to venture into this Twisted Tea section. Not gonna lie, it's $137.
I think more people just need to go experience the tailgate with a game. Like there's a lot of people that have gone to an Elks game in the past, or Eskimos, and they may be like, yeah, go do both. This year, go find time to go do the tailgate and then go to the game and see how it is. Pick a nice summer day.
In the Twisted Tea.
If you want, in the Twisted Tea. I know Raider Jesse.
For friends.
Reality is I'm probably only going to 3 games. but
Where
like,
is Raider Jesse? I haven't been to an Esks game in 20 years. I will be at a game in tailgate this year. Go give it a shot. Go give it a try. Yeah, it's Tracy Sticky Rice. She went to the one tailgate, never made it to the game. Bryce was so mad. It's what can happen. What is this text? Just back to Trey Lance. It's also what San Francisco gave up in that draft to get Lance.
Yeah.
Didn't they trade up for him?
They traded. Oh no, I'm gonna mess up yours.
4th. They traded I just saw it.
They traded up with Miami in exchange for their first in 21, 22, 23,
Yeah, but they gave
and their
up,
second.
What did they give up? I literally just had it.
Wait,
Where is it?
Thank you, Brock Purdy, though, for not making that sting as bad. Stumbling on Mr. Irrelevant.
Brock Purdy, it's such a weird situation because Brock Purdy is like not going to be with the 49ers.
They're not
soon.
paying him.
I know. So it's like you could have had Trey Lance and maybe developed him into being like your future franchise quarterback. But I feel like he wasn't ready to take that jump. But Brock Purdy was just such a good game manager that he was more ready.
Yeah.
Because like the heights of their game, right? Like if you think about the ceiling of it, well, Trey Lance's ceiling was probably higher, but he was probably a little bit more down here because he was raw and, you know, he had different attributes than Brock Purdy, but Purdy's game's like right here. It's very vanilla, but he can manage a game. And at that time with the 49ers, that's all you needed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they swapped first round picks, but then they traded away their first round picks in 22 and 23 along with their third round pick in 2022 to trade up to get Trey Lance.
There it is.
They traded away Trey Lance for a fourth.
How many spots did they move up?
I think it was 12-3.
Yeah.
So Miami dropped down from 3 to 12.
Be interesting to see who Miami
got two
took.
first. Who Miami got?
Yeah, just for fun.
So 21, 22, 23. Let me see if I can quickly pull this up. In 21, so they dropped to 12 player selections. So they dropped to, oh no, it wasn't 12. Did they trade the pick after?
Didn't they go get Waddle? Was that the year they got Waddle?
From San Francisco
That's
via
what my
Miami
guess
and
was
Philly.
gonna be.
So it all got traded away. Dallas Cowboys ended up with that pick, and it was Micah Parsons.
Oh, it was Parsons.
Oh, dang it.
That's who they
He didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then, so then 2022.
Who did the Dolphins pick though that year? I think wasn't it Waddle?
Timeline's
The Dolphins
close.
got Waddle with the 6th.
Yeah.
From Philly. So did they have any other picks in that round? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so then 2022, the Dolphins got the 49ers pick. Where was that pick? From San Francisco. Okay, so it got traded in the end to New England through a few other trades that got Cole Strange in an offensive lineman. Well, the Dolphins were just trading these picks. They were never using them.
Yeah, they traded everybody because they were trying to build a juggernaut, and clearly that didn't happen. I think it was the fastest team on turf. What they were trying to build at that time.
And then the other pick they got eventually got traded to New Orleans and through things. Brian Breesy, defensive tackle. The Dolphins also got a selection forfeited that year
For tampering for who was it that they were tampering for? Was it Brady?
Like Tom?
Yeah. They ended up losing a first round pick because of tampering. And I don't remember if it was who it was for, but I got a weird feeling it was for Tom Brady. And that was the same year that Brady ended up with the Bucks. If there's any Dolphins
still being punished for Tom Brady tampering.
There it is.
So it was Tom Brady tampering.
I don't remember any of that.
Well, it's ridiculous because there's so much tampering that goes on.
Yeah.
And you're trying to tamper for Tom Brady. I think at one point Tom Brady was like looking to get into ownership or buy ownership stakes into the Dolphins, which is how some of that tampering started. But the NFL has been allowing tampering for I don't know how long, and you want to smack a first rounder?
That's
BS.
That's how bad you did at tampering in the end. If you're gonna get if you to get it, like you're right, and in all sports there's tampering, but it's one you screwed up. You screwed up and got caught in a way where it's like, hey, we got to do something, and here you go. Got to deal with this.
You can give this guy ownership stakes so he can be your quarterback.
Andrew, the accountant. I've never been to an Elks game. I think I'll have to try it out and try tailgating this year too, as I've never done that either. Yes,
Twisted Tea.
Get your Twisted Tea section. You can hang out with Belle possibly if that's one of his 3 games that apparently he's only going to go to.
I'm only going to 3.
Why only 3?
That's all I'm going to be allotted.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
I got kids, Maddie. I got a wife.
Well, you should have done the
I can't
mini.
be just like gallivanting all over the city.
You should have done the mini pack. They released the mini pack thing, I think, yesterday.
No, you got to go full.
I agree. I wish I could. There's a 4-ticket flex pack starting at $22.50 per ticket.
Nobody wants that. Dude, it was $137 for one ticket.
Well, I know that's where I was going to say that this is a little bit more than the whole season.
Yeah.
But if you want a 4-game thing, it starts as low as $22.50.
Would those ones
redeem
come
your
with chairs?
tickets in any combination to any regular season home game.
Would those come with chairs?
These ones are chairs.
Nice.
As much
You
as
don't want the chairs.
Big chair guy.
You don't.
Are you?
No, you want to know
You
something?
know what? The standing's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, but
Not gonna lie, like there's a spot.
It's actually really nice.
Tube Socks. He didn't have his tickets last
see it
year.
on your face.
Tube Socks had
You're
his
not lying.
seats, and he would stand in the north end zone still to watch the game.
Yeah.
even though he had his seat that he paid for.
The seats are too tight.
There's also something about like and the Twisted Tea section and those areas are. I think
Which
one of them's
one's
called
that?
the
Is
Nova
that-
section.
Maybe.
They're by the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Just below it.
Yeah.
So it's like
Okay.
that area. With watching it from that angle is a lot of fun. It's a great vantage point.
It's really nice.
And look, you're gonna be going and getting drinks anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking around for that anyways.
You're gonna
And
have to walk
If
up all those
Gager's
stairs.
slinging dogs,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to walk away. You walk to go get some dogs from Gager.
All fair points.
It's quite. It is quite nice.
137.
That's silly. It
It
is.
It's
Yeah.
silly. And when I heard that, I almost fell over. I'm like, there's no way a season ticket is 137. And Brad, he's like, yeah, Bellsy, it is.
Did you get some sort of like Bellsy discount?
Nope,
Okay.
I didn't. Should. Hopefully he's listening to the show and be like, I need some money back for the discount. But $137. Ridiculous.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Leon Draisaitl's out for morning skate. Not expected to play according to Ryan Rishaug until the weekend or perhaps next week, but good sign he's out there. Leon is on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers. He isn't taking part, according to Daniel Bowman, in a power play meeting, so unless they've decided to remove their top scorer from the special teams, he's not playing, says DNB. But yeah, Rishaug having there. I just don't know if I'm trying to see if I could see anything else. He's starting to skate, which is good news. I wouldn't rush him for this weekend. Straight up. Let him play next week. Who's the first game next week? When's the first game next week? Oilers, because they go Kraken Flames to end this month. On the 1st, they get the Golden Knights. Honestly, I wouldn't even play him against the Golden Knights.
Nope.
I don't need the Golden Knights to try to do something against Leon. Save it against the Sharks. Let him come
I don't
out. Let
like
him ease
the
in.
Knights wouldn't be like that. They're not like that.
Okay, then play him against the Golden Knights.
They're fine.
It's
They play heavy hockey, but they're fine.
well, Petrangelo might try to slash his hand off
Oh my
again.
God.
Don't
talk to me about that stuff.
The official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink, legend of 1952, a drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment. Real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada, where you can enter your postal code and find a liquor store and establishment nearest you with it in stock, which OEG also has a partnership with the long drink. So if you're going to the game tonight, you can go pick up yourself a traditional or the sugar-free of the Finnish long drink. Bellsy, Brendan, Matt with you here. This text coming in, game manager title is ridiculous to Brock Purdy. I think that's actually fair management.
That's actually
I don't think there's
very-
anything wrong with a game management title.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But he's not a superstar quarterback in my mind yet.
No, he's not Josh Allen.
It doesn't mean like
No.
No.
it
I
doesn't
wouldn't
mean
put him in a
anything.
top, 5 category for quarterbacks. I don't know if I'd put him in top 10.
Yeah.
So you're a really good quarterback, and I don't think there's anything wrong being game manager too, because you're
Look at
just
Jared
doing,
Goff.
you're going to win. You're just winning football games still, and you're doing your thing. But I think the history of the 49ers, like look at that year they got to the NFC Finals, that one year where he first came in.
Mm-hmm.
Who was their quarterback that year?
Garoppolo.
Got hurt, went down, and then like Brock Purdy was like the 3rd or 4th option that year. He was there, and so many injuries, and they all were having success because it didn't matter as much what quarterback was being put in there. They had the players, and it was just don't turn the ball over, don't screw up.
Which is he does not turn the ball over.
Which is amazing. That is half the battle as being a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have any issue calling him a game manager personally. I don't think it's a
Here,
bad thing.
let me tell you his career stats.
Purdy went to the Super Bowl. Allen didn't. You want to know something? Rex Grossman went to a Super Bowl.
Well, look at the defense.
Well,
You got the best middle linebacker in the game. Your secondary's okay, sure, a little suspect, but your front seven's nasty. Bosa on one side, Chase Young for a minute on the other.
and there's nothing wrong with the game manager getting to a Super Bowl.
No, but the offense too. You have
take it-
Silverback Gorilla on the left side. Your weapons on the outside are nasty, and then you have a running back that's arguably the best in the game when healthy.
People take it personally when it's like game manager, but it's not a personal thing. Like, hey, he doesn't turn the ball over, but he doesn't go out of his way to like take over games. There's never a point where you look at Brock Purdy and you're like, man, that guy just took over the game. Mahomes does that. Allen does that.
Look at Allen this year, and I'll give the credit for this.
That.
Like, one of the reasons he got MVP was because
he stopped turning the ball
didn't
over.
have the talent around him, people would argue. He didn't have Deebo Samuel. He doesn't have Brandon Ayuk. He doesn't have Christian McCaffrey.
So with all
he doesn't
those,
have George Kittle.
Yeah.
Like, those are unbelievable players that Brock Purdy's had for a number of years. Josh Allen don't have those like this season, and look what he did. Look what he accomplished.
Like a steady defenseman, you know, you don't really notice him, and that's the best compliment you can give him. Get the ball in the players of your best player, or the hands of your best players,
And don't give it to the other team. And that's what Brock Purdy does.
He's going to make $50-some million.
And I wouldn't pay him
game
that.
manager.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay him all that money.
And because he's going to get...
Because you could get someone cheaper to replace Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
You are not getting someone cheaper to replace what Josh Allen does. You are not getting someone cheaper to replace what Patrick Mahomes does. You are not getting somebody cheaper who will replace what Lamar Jackson does.
Yeah.
There's the difference between those guys.
But someone's going to pay him. No?
Somebody will.
Well, somebody's going to pay him decent money, and then he's going to go to a team that's not loaded with stars like that.
Get exposed a little bit.
Then he's going to get exposed a little
And he's
bit.
going to become Joe
rich.
Flacco.
But he actually was getting exposed a little bit. Why? Because some of those stars were out.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, the best safety blanket you can have is Christian McCaffrey. So here you go, have the ball.
Yeah, Jason LeDuc. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, enough said.
Yeah.
The Ravens defense of that year was a historic defense. I don't even think Trent Dilfer was the quarterback of the Ravens the next season.
It doesn't matter that he's a game manager. It's okay.
I
okay.
I think that can be, I don't want to say full compliment, but it's
on this wavelength.
It's not an insult to me.
No.
Yeah.
I don't find
Not everybody can be a game manager.
Not everyone can be a game manager. They're going to make the mistakes.
Yep.
And two, not everyone's a star quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, like, there are only few top end quarterbacks, and Brock Purdy's not one of those guys to me. If I'm starting if I went on Madden and went fantasy draft,
You ain't picking Purdy
Brock
number
Purdy's
one.
not a top.
He's not number one.
Brock Purdy's not one of the top guys. I'm like, I need to go get him as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Although the way I build my fantasy drafts with those, Brock Purdy would end up being my quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I build the O-line and the D-line always. My first 10 picks, I'm loading up on O-line and D-line, even in those games.
Really?
Oh, I want a strong O-line, D-line. I'm going to have success.
Yeah. Build your
The
spine.
trenches.
Now, here's
The
something
trenches.
interesting. If you were to go to Madden 25 QB ratings, where do you think Brock Purdy is slotted?
7 or 8.
I'm going to say between 12 and 15.
Number 8.
Wow. Good
86
guess.
overall.
They're winning. He's that quarterback. I'll give him that. But
He's tied with Herbert, Justin, and Jaden Daniels is right below him. But I would actually put Jaden Daniels
what
above
year?
him.
Where's that
This
article? When's that article from? Or is that current?
This is, I don't know if it's current, but I just looked it
Because the quarterback, okay, going into this season, what quarterbacks would I take over Brock Purdy? Straight up. The 3 we mentioned.
Yeah.
Mahomes, Jackson, Allen. Straight up.
up. Mm-hmm.
That's the best. Who?
Burrow.
Burrow, Jalen Hurts,
Stroud, CJ,
CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels
Tua.
has shown up there. An injury would cause me concern. I couldn't put Tua over Brock Purdy.
You would because he's a better quarterback.
What about Stafford? Jared Goff.
Stafford is ranked as an 85 here. Jaden Daniels is an 85. I would actually take both of those. I would take both of those QBs over Purdy. To me, Brock Purdy is like a middle of the road, 12 to 15 quarterback.
I agree. The guy can win, but he's not going to do it by himself. He's not going Mahomes. To the Super
I would take
Bowl.
Jordan Love.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're a Love
over
guy.
Brock Purdy. He's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He is going to lose you games. He is going to throw interceptions, but he's going to find wins.
He's going to go down slinging, though.
He's going to be a gunslinger. And
Would you
that's,
take Baker?
No, wouldn't take Baker over Brock. Wouldn't take Dak over Brock.
Geno?
As of right now. No.
Kyler Murray? What about Dangerous?
The newest New York
serious.
Giant.
Let's be serious. Well, I'm just trying to think. Kyler, who would I put? I'd still probably take Brock Purdy.
Okay, here's one for you.
I'm
Aaron
at
Rodgers.
8 guys for no chance. I hope the Steelers sign him so bad. I want the Steelers to sign Aaron Rodgers. Give me 2 wins give me 2 victories for the Baltimore Ravens right there this year.
Listen,
Give me Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, please.
I have ripped Aaron Rodgers in the Jets disaster last year where I was being like very facetious with it. But at the same time, I'm thinking about this, okay? So if you have the weapons of Debo, Ayuk when he decided he actually wanted to play, McCaffrey, Kittle, and you stuck Aaron Rodgers in that mix.
He doesn't have this he doesn't have the arm strength as much anymore. He doesn't have the reading of the field as well as anymore. He's not Aaron Rodgers anymore.
Are you sure?
Yes. There's a lot of bad decisions he made last year. Just ones that you're going, what do you think?
Yeah,
Aaron?
because he played on a garbage team and he had 0 time
He
to
would
do
have
anything.
no, there's moments where you're like, this guy's open and you're not throwing to him or you're putting it in his feet.
Because he didn't like his players.
He's a headache. He doesn't.
He is a headache, yes.
He doesn't fit into a Mike Tomlin guy either. No, please go to Pittsburgh. Please go to Pittsburgh.
Are we honestly...
As a Ravens fan, I can't wait to hear that signing because it's like perfect.
Do we actually
Push
think
them
that Aaron
aside.
Rodgers wouldn't be in a better situation? Like he wouldn't be better than Brock Purdy running that offense when they're all humming? Come on. Like, hey, there's a lot of negatives about Rodgers, and I will fully admit all of them.
I think if we're playing Madden,
He's been about
Rodgers.
3 years. It's been 3 years since he
Right?
was top player. He's gone. No, it's not there.
No locker room chemistry or anything like that. Just
Yeah,
sheer,
zero, but just sheer
football player.
ability. Yes.
I'm taking Rodgers too.
So am I.
I guess I would take Justin. I'm still back on the Brock Purdy thing. I have Justin Herbert
Okay.
over Brock Purdy. No, I'm trying to go through all the quarterbacks in my head, and I think Brock Purdy might be number 10 for me. I don't know if I can knock him out of the top
Okay,
10.
so you
Still
got Trevor
game manager,
Lawrence
too.
as 74, Justin
Oh,
Fields
I would. Okay,
73.
you knocked him out.
You like Trevor Lawrence over Purdy?
I like the upside of Trevor Lawrence more.
Okay.
I think there's a guy that could take over
Kirk
a game.
Cousins,
No, I think Kirk
Bryce
Cousins
Young,
off. No,
Drake May,
no,
Derek Carr,
no,
Bo Nix,
no,
Sam Darnold,
no,
Sam Darnold,
no.
Sam Darnold.
No, no. Watch what happens in Seattle. It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah,
it's a bad
it's gonna
decision.
be a
Bad
disaster
decision.
there, yeah.
It was a what is
Lightning
it?
in a bottle?
Lightning in a bottle. That's
Yeah.
what that one was this year with the Minnesota
Again, a
Vikings.
great roster.
Dak
100%.
Prescott.
No, I take Brock.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Dak will make the mistakes. Brock won't.
Fair enough. I accept. Yeah, then Jared Goff.
Like of the 10 guys I have, I think those are guys either like there's a better upside to them, or I think they could, as we said, take over a game if you needed to at times.
Fair enough.
The other ones, it's I don't have it for the other ones. So Brock is maybe 11 for me. So that's why the 8 ranking is actually pretty good.
So Lamar Jackson's a 99, Allen's a 98, Burrow's a 96, Mahomes is a 95,
That's low for Mahomes.
Goff is an
Higher.
88, and this might have been at the start
See,
of
and
the year too.
I have Brock over Goff.
Goff's an 88.
Yeah, I
Hurts
think
is an
Jared
87.
Goff. The same thing to me. Jared Goff is a game manager.
But I think
And at
Purdy
least-
is 3 years behind where Jared Goff is.
Sure, but Brock Purdy. Then if I'm going to game managers, Brock Purdy's gone to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff hasn't.
Okay.
I will take Brock Purdy then in the end. If I'm going to balance out those 2 game managers, give me Brock Purdy over Jared Goff.
Okay.
Wow. Bold.
Well, Goff hasn't done it.
Bold.
He did go to a Super Bowl though.
He did.
No, he did, didn't he? I said he didn't.
No,
Was he not? He was with the Rams when they lost to the Patriots, was he not?
he was.
So they both
And then
have
they
gone to the Super Bowl.
traded for
For
Stafford the
Stafford.
next year.
So I was
And
wrong
then
on
that
that.
got him
They've
over the
both
hump.
gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Does that change it, or are you sticking with your guns?
I'm sticking with my guns because Goff is a team right now with the Detroit Lions and couldn't get it done.
Same with
It's
Purdy.
actually
I
interesting.
know, but the Rams was like, they actually shouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl that year. It was a bad, should have been PI against the Saints. Or against the Rams against
Yeah.
the Saints.
Absolutely.
It's a close one. I'd still take Brock. I think the consistency has been there a little bit more.
It's interesting how, so it has the overall, then it has the gen, but basically meaning like where it moved to by the end of the year.
One more time. Oh, the overalls. Okay, I
Right.
hear you.
So Brock Purdy went from an 86 to an 81.
Oh,
Brock Purdy went from 86 to 81.
Yep.
So So he's lower in. Well, but
So now
he
he's
had a
lower
rougher
ranked.
season last year, and that's
Jared Goff went from an 88 to an 81 as well.
walks. What did one go from?
An 88 to an 81.
Why did he drop?
I don't know.
Detroit blew it.
Yeah, but it's
Russell Wilson
shouldn't
went
have
from a
mattered.
78 to an 86.
Whoa.
Hello.
Who is Pittsburgh's starter this year?
Trevor Lawrence,
They don't have
74
one.
and 84.
Yeah.
This is the second straight year the entire 3 quarterbacks that the Steelers had the season prior is gone.
Yeah.
2 years ago it happened, and this year now I can't. It's like Zach Lowe or something like that. Fields and Russ gone, and that's why they have nothing else. Like they are going to sign Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
and I'm
like,
very
is there
thankful.
anybody else on the market at all?
Make a trade.
Yeah, true.
Go trade for Trey Lance. I actually seriously like if you're Pittsburgh, I don't know.
Well,
Or,
isn't
but
there,
also the draft. You're looking at the draft.
you're looking at the
Pittsburgh.
draft, but isn't there a lot of people trying to trade for JJ McCarthy? From,
Not
from
anymore,
The
I think,
Vikings?
no. Well, the fact that they didn't sign Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold left,
And they're just going to give JJ the
It's his
start.
it'll be his team.
They must be super high on him.
Mm-hmm. And hey, big risk after a major injury.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, the draft
Are
is
you
going to be one.
surprised
I'm
they
not
didn't
big
back
on the
Darnold,
draft class this year for quarterbacks. I love Cam Ward was the Miami Hurricanes quarterback. Love him. Bad decisions in the worst times. And he's going to be he might be the first quarterback taken.
Yep.
Bad. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback.
What a
in
pro
NFL.
day, though.
I hope. Yeah.
See him throwing against open field. Pretty sick.
What about Shadur?
They're saying he wasn't on
I
the table
think-
for 3 to the Giants.
Really?
I read that yesterday.
I'm not sold on him as a starting quarterback at all in the National Football League. Not a chance. Maybe I'll have to eat my words in 5 years, but that guy's not a starting quarterback in 5 years in the National Football League. I don't even think Cam Ward will be.
Who else?
Don't take a quarterback
who
this year.
else is
Do
there?
not touch a quarterback this year in the draft unless you have a 4th, 5th round pick that you want to
You
take
think
a
they're all
flyer on.
busties?
I don't think this is going to be a good draft class. When Cam Ward and Sanders are your top 2, not going to be a year of quarterbacks. This is going to be a bust year. Leave him. Build your O-line. Build your D-line.
Out of Alabama.
Go get Hunter. Oh, him.
What's his name? Monroe, maybe, or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I don't watch college football enough to really tell you anymore.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm wondering, like, does Shadur get more hype than he needs? Like, if he was at a different program without his dad, where would he be sitting?
Not where he is. I think it's a lot of name, no?
It is.
Yeah.
There's going to be, he's
He's going to probably end up in Tennessee. with
I
the
think,
Titans.
yeah.
Or-
Actually,
or
it's
Vegas, yeah.
Cam Ward's a talk for Tennessee.
Is it?
Yeah. I think a lot of people will watch film of Sanders and see that it was the hype around Colorado and Dion
Yeah.
makes him look a little better, and it's not there.
There-
And he doesn't have his dad to protect him.
One of the things, though, that he does very well is he's very accurate. So I think that might help him. Like, I don't think his ceiling is as high as that everybody thinks it is, but I think he is very accurate. And that actually maybe propels him a little bit just because of that.
Giants, if they are going to take him, it's not a bad idea because you have Russ for a year.
Yeah.
And they did it with Kurt Warner was there when Eli Manning came. And they started Kurt Warner's first year until they were like 0-7 or like 1-8 or something like that. Then they gave it to Eli.
And I don't know why more
Rest
teams
is
don't
history.
do that.
It's because it works the other way too. Like the year Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan were drafted by the Ravens and the Falcons respectively, started and had great careers.
Yeah, but
Yeah, and
you would
that's-
say that's more of an outlier, no?
Well, I think nowadays a lot of quarterbacks do start right away.
Because it's cheap.
I think that
But
you know,
how
like
many
Jordan
fizzle
Love,
out after
Aaron
a year?
Rodgers, both guys who sat for a little bit and then took over.
Yep.
I think more, but the problem is in the National Football League is there's such pressure from the owners
Yep.
on the GMs and the coaches. Coaches don't last long anymore. GMs don't last long anymore. So it's like,
And they don't ever build enough for those quarterbacks. Like, you always get those quarterbacks in situations where they don't have an O-line, they don't have a running game, they don't have elite threats on the outside. Then you insert this franchise quarterback who's ultra young, and you're like, you need to perform. And you're like, well, if I got no time to make the reads, because one of the biggest knocks on quarterbacks going from college to the NFL in year one is that they're still making college reads. It's
You
not
gotta
like
throw guys open, not hit
Exactly.
the open guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you actually are doing a disservice to him. And so, like, you look at all these quarterbacks over the course of their careers. Well, Sam Darnold with the Jets.
Yeah, that was tough.
Well, Joe Burrow,
Brutal.
2-7-1 in his first year with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Then they went and were like, oh yeah, we should put an O-line in front of him and build this team a little bit up more.
Weird.
And then they've had success. Like Ryan Tannehill is a great example of maybe not having the players around him, but also not enough time, just that little extra time.
Yep.
Dolphins does nothing. Goes to the Titans and had a
actually
decent
had
time
decent
there
career.
out there.
Yep.
The guy's made, I think, like $200 million or something. So I thought I read this week or something in his career.
He did actually fairly well because he had a running game and he had a good O-line.
Yep.
Well, there was talk of him maybe going to the Vikings, I think it was.
Tannehill, hey?
Not a bad move.
No.
Have him start for, again, a little bit while
But he
JJ
didn't even
McCarthy
play
gets it
last year.
going. I know. So it could work. JJ McCarthy didn't either. So,
Yeah, fair.
but I like the idea of having a veteran to start.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
And
like
then
that a lot.
whether it's mid-season or but Lamar Jackson's first year, actually, he didn't start. It was Joe Flacco. And I think everyone
Pat
thought
Mahomes.
Lamar was going to play the next
Mahomes
year.
didn't either.
But it was that season that he replaced Joe and they ran away. Like he didn't lose, I don't think. Or he lost one game or something. It was just a ridiculous start. And then, I think that should happen more. Doesn't.
Yeah, there's too much pressure from the owners because you got to. Well, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, so I see it with Tua. It's like people were criticizing his game. He did elevate his receivers, but there's receivers his first couple years were like putrid. I don't even know if most of those guys are on rosters right now. And then all of a sudden they go out and get Tyreek and they go get Waddle and he's throwing the lights out, but they still don't have an O-line. So imagine if they just got an O-line for him. Like, it might actually help. It's crazy how it works.
I got Oilers lines from today.
Oh, nice.
Courtesy Bob Stauffer. Nugent Hopkins between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrik in between Kapanen and Hyman. Janmark between Jeff Skinner and Brown. Ryan in between Jones and Perry. Kane and Draisaitl both skating today as well with the team. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse Wallman, Kulak, Stetcher, and then a fourth pairing of Klingberg and Emberson. Skinner getting the start tonight. So the forward groups again, Nuge between Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Henrik between Kapanen and Hyman, Janmark between Skinner and Brown, Ryan centering Jones and Perry. Kane, Draisaitl skating, but they will not be playing tonight.
Question.
Go for it.
Hyman on Henrik's wing. Are they setting that up to put Connor in that line? Build a little chemistry before he gets back?
Yeah, maybe.
Or is that because you would think maybe Nugent Hyman, a little bit more history.
Well, this is maybe to the point that you had about the third line, Nugent Arvidsson playing well.
Yeah.
Getting that
Like
third line going, ready to go.
And then
Podkolzin could plop out for Evander Kane. And then the other stuff could just be, I guess, Henrik drops down, so McDavid goes there with Hyman, and then whoever's with him. And you're going to have Draisaitl between Skinner and
But
Brown.
you could bump Henrik over to the left wing.
That'd be an interesting one, too. If you put
And then
Henrique
you
in the
don't
left
have
winger.
that 4C as
Yeah.
strong as, but how much time does your fourth line really get?
Oh, you're saying Henrik into the left?
To left wing, put Connor in the middle. And now you have a
Well,
little
but
bit
the thing
of
is, like I
chemistry building
could
with,
you not see Skinner, Brown, and Draisaitl together?
Skinner, Brown, Draisaitl.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I could see it. But I'd also.
I like to
I
see
could
Frederick there first, though.
I could see Frederick there, though.
But
I want
in
to see what
replace
he
of-
has.
Skinner.
okay, but could you send?
Skinner,
Okay, well then
Frederick and Draisaitl.
Frederick, McDavid, Hyman, Kapanen, Henrik drop or move out. That's where
One
those
more-
two slot. Frederick and McDavid, Hyman, and then
Yeah.
Janmark goes out. You pull up and Draisaitl, and there's your lines and Kane for. So if I was going to read, if trying to read into this, it would be McDavid with Frederick and Hyman, Draisaitl with Jeff Skinner and Brown, Nuge with Kane and Arvidsson.
Dang.
I don't know if I love that second line.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything to these lines to read.
Yeah,
if these
no,
are
I
guys
get
are
it.
placeholders or not.
Because there was
until those
times
guys
that
come in.
Henrique would jump up to the wing playing with Draisaitl last year, right?
And I like that.
And it was actually kind of good.
I like that. Especially if you're going to put him in the 4C. He's better than that. He needs more minutes.
Could you see him playing Henrique, Skinner, Dry? Could you see that?
It's good questions. We'll have to ponder it until next week. We got the Lock Shop coming up next. Dusty, he's at BP's Westgate for Lock Shop, as well as the Oil Stream. We've got EST Afternoons. We've got the Reed Wilkins Show. And then GCLD's Oil Stream pregame show was 7 o'clock tonight. Oilers and Stars coming up down at Rogers Place. Boys, this was a fun little afternoon.
It was good.
On behalf of Brendan, intern, Shawn, Belle. I'm Matt Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning into the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Edmonton Sports Talk, as I said. Up next, it is the Lock Shop. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,